Revealed, my incredible secret home purchase uncovered a life-changing plot by my daughter-in-law. Sarah had always dreamed of a better life for her and her daughter Lily. In the quaint town of Maplewood, where the sounds of laughter mingled with the fragrance of fresh-baked pies, community bonds forged warmth, but they also carried sharp edges. As a single mother juggling 2 jobs as a committed real estate agent, Sarah was known for her relentless determination. But living in their cramped apartment felt like running in place, trapped by whispers of judgment from her neighbors. Yet beneath it all simmered hope. One crisp Saturday morning, Sarah sat at her cluttered kitchen table, fingers tapping against her laptop. She sifted through the endless listings, her heart sinking with each overpriced property showcased. But then, amidst the glitzy images, an unassuming house caught her eye. With chipped paint and a sagging roof, it seemed out of place amid the pristine streets. Yet it pulsed with potential, beckoning her into a world where happiness awaited, where Lily's laughter would echo through the halls and dreams would weave into reality. Sarah's heart raced as she envisioned throwing impromptu dance parties with Lily, their bare feet dancing on the wooden floors. She felt the thrill of a secret bubbling within her as she worked overtime, saving every penny while keeping her plans closely guarded. It was exhilarating, her very own treasure hunt, a secret she could hardly wait to share with Lily. But in the shadows lurked Kim, Sarah's sister-in-law, polished and poised but with a heart that concealed ambition. As soon as Kim caught wind of Sarah's plans, a smirk played on her lips. She straddled the line between supportive ally and cunning adversary, waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Her family's supposed legacy and her conniving ambition loomed like dark clouds over Sarah's bright horizon. As the weeks unfolded, Sarah faced not only simmering tension with Kim but constant uncertainty fueled by a knot in her stomach. Her neighbors hurled thinly veiled judgments her way as they chattered in their manicured front yards. Each hurtful word lodged itself deeper in her heart, questioning her worth as a mother and a provider. Just as Sarah was accumulating moments of determination, the ground beneath her shook. Kim revealed a family secret tied to the very house Sarah desired, sowing seeds of doubt. It was a revelation that threatened every pleasurable daydream Sarah had conjured, tossing her into a cycle of pain, of familial betrayal sculpted into insecurity. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening, she suddenly thought, the urgency clawing at her heart. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. With emotion reaching a boiling point, Sarah confronted Kim in a decisive showdown. Every second seeping in tension, Sarah's heart thundered, her courage solidifying into a vow to protect her family, her daughter. She needed to claim her narrative while rejecting Kim's insidious attempts to rewrite it. Standing at the threshold of her newfound home, hope and despair rattled against each other in her chest. The air felt electric. Would she have the strength to shape the family legacy, or would Kim's greed snuff it out? As she reached for the door handle, her breath caught, anticipation spiraling, ready to erupt. What awaited inside even she didn't know. The door creaked as Sarah pushed it open, its sound reverberating in the empty space. Dust motes danced in the sunlight streaming through the grimy windows, casting patches of warmth on the rough wooden floor. It was a far cry from the cozy chaos she had imagined, but it was also a blank canvas, waiting for her touch. She stepped inside, her heart pounding with each careful footfall. The scent of old wood and something musty filled the air, a mixture of neglect and possibility. What had once been a family home, now lay silent and forgotten. But to Sarah, it felt alive with hope. She turned to Lily, who was still at the threshold, eyes wide with curiosity. "What do you think, sweet pea?" Sarah asked, kneeling down to catch her daughter's gaze. "Can you see our dance parties here?" Lily stepped in hesitantly, glancing around before her face broke into an innocent smile. "Yeah. Can we paint it pink?" she chirped, her excitement contagious. "Of course. We can make it whatever we want," Sarah replied, a surge of affection swelling in her chest. This was at the beginning of a new chapter. Together, they could fill this house with laughter, love, and the memories that had long been missing. Departing with her dreams, for a moment, all the shadows cast by Kim faded away, but as they began exploring, the initial thrill began to fade into an overwhelming sense of doubt. The walls needed repair, and the garden was tangled with weeds that had thrived in neglect. What had Sarah gotten herself into? She had worked so hard to get here, but now uncertainty crept back in, wrapping itself around her heart like a cold shackle. "Mom, can we have a swing in the backyard?" Lily's voice was hopeful, yet the tremor in it pulled sharply at Sarah's gut. Would there even be enough money to make this house livable, let alone a home? "Absolutely," she said, forcing a smile. "We'll make a swing for you, and I'll plant flowers, too." A rush of determination flooded her. She wouldn't let fear dictate her future. She had sacrificed too much to back down now. As they ventured deeper into the house, Sarah spotted something shiny beneath a loose floorboard. Kneeling down, she pulled up the board and unearthed a small, dust-coated silver locket. Curiosity piqued, she opened it to reveal a faded photograph of an old couple in what looked like a wedding picture. Who were they, and how had their memory ended up here, so far removed from their story? Lily gasped as she peeked over her shoulder. "Wow! It's so pretty, Mommy." "Yeah, it is," Sarah murmured, her mind racing. Perhaps this was a sign, a piece of history waiting to connect with theirs. But wait, what if Kim somehow knew about this? Would she use it to further her twisted agenda? The chill of fear swept back through Sarah. If Kim discovered this locket's existence, could it threaten everything Sarah was trying to build? Her heart raced as she felt the weight of their hidden family ties crashing back in. The past was tied to this house more than she had realized, and she fought the urge to feel overwhelmed. "Lily," Sarah said, trying to shake off the darkness creeping in. "Let us keep exploring. I have a feeling our treasures are just waiting to be found." As they moved into the next room, a new spark ignited in Sarah's heart. She could turn this place into a sanctuary for them, a refuge against all the negativity outside. But just as they stepped into the sunlit living room, a chilling voice echoed from behind them. "Well, well, well," Kim's voice dripped like honey, sweet but poisonous. "I see you're quite the little archaeologist now." Sarah turned, a lump in her throat, her heart pounding with fear and defensiveness all at once. What did Kim want? And how would she counter this invasion of her new reality? "Are you here to help, or are you just here to spy?" Sarah challenged, her words firmer than she felt. Kim smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. "Oh, I wouldn't dream of imposing. I just thought I'd drop in and see how you were enjoying my family's legacy." With the stakes raised and emotions flaring, Sarah's plans hung in the balance. Could she protect her dream from Kim's meddling hands, and what secrets would unravel next? The tension hung heavily in the air, each heartbeat echoing the coming conflict. Would this be the moment she finally stood her ground, or would the past bury her dreams in its shadow? Sarah's breath caught in her throat as she faced Kim, whose smile seemed to twist with darker intents. The way she leaned against the door frame brought back echoes of power and control that Sarah had fought so hard to escape. This wasn't just a house, it felt like a battlefield, and Sarah was acutely aware of the tension simmering between them. "What do you want, Kim?" Sarah managed to ask, her voice trembling despite her efforts to maintain firmness. She felt Lily's small hand slip into hers, seeking stability in the midst of the storm. It was a comforting reminder that this wasn't just about Sarah anymore, it was about them, their future. Kim stepped forward, her gaze piercing, making Sarah's skin prickle. "Let us not pretend this is unexpected. You've arrived to take your place among my family's legacy. Sadly, legacies come with strings. I'm here to make sure you understand that," she said, her tone almost casual, as if discussing the weather. Sarah's heart raced. "This isn't your legacy. It belonged to your family, but it's mine now. And for Lily and me, it's a chance to begin fresh." Cute, Kim scoffed, eyes narrowing slightly. But you're stepping into a world you don't understand. This house holds secrets. My secrets. What do you mean? Sarah felt a knot forming in her stomach. The locket flashed in her mind. Was it connected to something deeper, something dark? Kim leaned in closer, and Sarah caught a whiff of perfume layered with a hint of something stale. You really think it all ends with paint and a swing? There's history in these walls. Disputes, broken promises. Lily pressed closer to Sarah's side, oblivious to the grown-up's tension but somehow sensing the thick atmosphere. Mommy, can we go? She whispered, her tiny voice barely breaking the silence. Just a second, sweet pea, Sarah replied gently, not wanting her daughter to sense the fear creeping into her voice. She turned back to Kim, trying to find her voice beneath the storm. If you're here to intimidate, it won't work. This is our home now. You're welcome to visit, but we're not afraid of what you have to say. Are you sure? Kim said, an unsettling glint in her eye. You may want to consider what happens when you unlock those secrets. You could find more than you bargained for and lose more than you can afford. The threat hung between them like a dark cloud ready to burst. Sarah stood tall, though her pulse pounded through her veins. She thought of their new beginnings, their laughter, the painted swing, and the life she envisioned filling these rooms. She wouldn't let Kim's shadows darken that hope. I'll handle whatever comes, Sarah replied firmly, determination igniting within her. This house is our chance to build a brighter future, not to dwell in the past. Kim straightened, an amused expression flickering across her face. We'll see about that. Just remember, in this family, secrets don't stay buried for long. With that, she turned, leaving Sarah and Lily standing in the doorway, the weight of her words hanging thick in the air. As the sound of Kim's retreating footsteps faded, Sarah felt the world around her shift. The sunlight pouring into the living room felt both warm and haunting now, as if it were revealing hidden truths beneath its golden rays. She knelt down beside Lily, forcing a smile as she took a deep breath to steady herself. Let us go find that swing, okay? Sarah said, her voice steady even though her heart was racing. Okay. Lily beamed, her innocence like a lifeline in the storm. They made their way to the backyard, where the weeds tangled like memories waiting to be unraveled. Each step felt lighter somehow, the space opening up before them. As Sarah started to pull weeds, her mind buzzed with thoughts of Kim, the locket, and the secrets that still lurked within those walls. What else lay hidden in this house? And what kind of legacy was she truly stepping into? A sudden noise made her stop. A soft, muffled sound echoing from the depths of the house. Was it just the wind? A memory? Or something else entirely? Sarah glanced at Lily, her heart racing. Again. Let us go see what that was. It could be another treasure. With a mix of excitement and apprehension, they headed back inside, the promise of what they might uncover driving them forward. Every moment now felt electric, a pulse in the very foundation of their new lives. What awaited them in the shadows? The hallway stretched long and quiet, shadows dancing across the pale walls as Sarah and Lily stepped inside. The air was thick with a musty smell, remnants of a past long left untouched. Every creak of the floorboards beneath their feet seemed to whisper secrets, trying to grab their attention. Mommy, do you think it's a treasure? Lily asked, her eyes wide with innocence and curiosity. Maybe it is, sweetheart, Sarah smiled, fighting back the anxiety gnawing at her. She needed to be brave, not just for herself but for Lily, who looked to her for strength in the unknown. As they approached the door that led to the basement, Sarah felt a gravity pulling her forward. This door had been shut tight, it felt like a barrier between them and whatever lay hidden in the darkness below. Do you want to stay here, or should we check it out? Sarah knelt down beside Lily, brushing a few stray hairs out of her daughter's face. We can always come back later if you want. Lily frowned, biting her lip as she stared at the worn doorknob. I want to see it, Mommy. I'm not scared. The brave little face, however, didn't quite mask the flicker of unease in her eyes. "All right, then," Sarah said, steeling herself. She turned the knob slowly, a loud, protesting creak announcing their intentions. The door gave way, revealing a staircase that descended into darkness, the air growing colder with each passing moment. "Hold my hand," she said, taking Lily's tiny fingers into her own. Together, they moved cautiously down the steps, the wooden planks whispering under their weight. As they reached the bottom, Sarah squinted against the shadows, trying to make sense of the damp, cluttered space. Old furniture was piled high, draped in dust covers, forgotten gifts left behind from another era. But that muffled sound, it was clearer now, a soft scratching echoing from the far corner. As they moved closer, Sarah's heart raced. What could she expect? Was it a rat? Or something worse? Her mind raced with visions of what could lurk just out of sight. "Do you hear that?" she whispered, glancing down at Lily, whose eyes mirrored her concern. "Yeah, it sounds funny," Lily replied, her voice a mix of excitement and worry. They rounded the last tarp-covered chair, and there, tucked between the wall and a dusty old trunk, Sarah spotted something moving. She took a deep breath, flicking on her phone's flashlight, the beam slicing through the shadows. A startled raccoon blinked up at them, its little nose twitching. Relief washed over Sarah, followed quickly by a wave of laughter escaping her lips. "Just a raccoon, Lily. We're okay." "Oh." Lily giggled, her initial fear dissolving into delight. The young raccoon, curious but still timid, shuffled a little closer, surveying these strange intruders. "Let's get out of here before it thinks we're friends." Sarah chuckled, pulling her daughter back toward the stairs. But just before they turned to leave, something caught her eye. There, half buried under a pile of musty blankets, was something glinting in the flashlight's beam. "Mommy, what is it?" Lily's voice was a whisper of excitement again. Sarah stepped forward cautiously, and then gasped. It was a small, ornate box, its surface decorated with intricate engravings that promised more history than she could fathom. She brushed aside the coverings and cradled it in her hands, its coolness sending a shiver down her spine. "What if there are more secrets?" Lily exclaimed, eyes sparkling with mischief and wonder. "Just what are you hiding from me?" Sarah breathed, running her fingers over the engravings. "Let us go see." As they hurried back up the stairs, Sarah's mind raced. What could be inside this box? Was it another piece of the legacy Kim had hinted at, or something entirely different? The excitement and dread of the unknown intermingled within her gut. Reaching the top of the stairs, she turned back to Lily, her heart pounding. "Whatever happens next, we'll face it together, okay?" "Always, Mommy." Lily replied, the trust in her voice bolstering Sarah's resolve. But as they stood in the safety of the hallway, another noise echoed from deep within the house, a low rumble that sounded almost like a voice calling out urgently. What was that? Lily's eyes widened, sensing the change in the air. "Let us find out," Sarah whispered, gripping the box tightly. Little did they know, the secrets of the house were only beginning to unveil themselves, and they were racing against time to face what lay ahead. Would unlocking this new mystery bring them closer or draw them deeper into the shadows? The sound grew louder, vibrating in the air around them. It felt almost like the walls of the old house were speaking, urging them to listen. Sarah exchanged a quick glance with Lily, a silent understanding passing between them. Whatever lay ahead, they would face it together. "Mommy, do you think it's a ghost?" Lily whispered, her eyes wide, showcasing a mixture of fear and excitement. "Let us hope it's something a little less spooky," Sarah replied with a soft laugh, though she could feel a knot tightening in her stomach. They moved toward the source of the rumbling, the ornate box still held tightly in Sarah's hands. The flashlight beam danced across the walls, illuminating dusty pictures and forgotten memories. Each step echoed like a heartbeat in the stillness. Where could that noise be coming from? Sarah murmured. She turned off her flashlight, plunging them into darkness. The shift was immediate, heightening their senses. Every tiny sound suddenly felt magnified, soft creaks and distant echoes. "Mommy, it's really dark," Lily squeaked, her voice trembling slightly. "Just hold my hand, sweet pea. We're almost there." She squeezed Lily's fingers, feeling her daughter's grip tighten back. The noise pulse shifted in direction, lingering around a nearby door they hadn't noticed before, its surface marred by time and neglect. A small brass doorknob shimmered like a hidden jewel in the dim light filtering through the old basement window. "Should we open it?" Lily's voice trembled slightly, a mix of thrill and anxiety. "We should." Sarah hesitated, her gut twisting with foreboding. "But we can be careful." Together, they stood before the door, their breaths mingling in the cool air surrounded by age and mystery. The air thickened, almost charged, as if the house itself was alive, waiting for them to take the next step. On the count of 3, Sarah said, needing an anchor for her wavering courage. 1, 2, 3. With that, they twisted the knob and pushed the door open. It creaked loudly as it revealed a small room that seemed untouched for ages. Dust motes danced in slender beams of light that filtered through a grimy window high on the wall, creating a haunting effect. Rows of boxes lined the walls, some stacked precariously. "What's in here?" Lily's blue eyes sparkled like stars against the gloom. Sarah stepped inside, glancing around. "I don't know, but it feels important." At that moment, a sudden movement drew their attention. From the corner of the room, another shadow appeared, startling Sarah. "Mommy!" Lily gasped, stepping back slightly. "Wait!" Sarah soothed, holding her ground as the figure emerged from the shadows. It was another raccoon, but this one seemed larger and far more confident than the first. "Well, aren't you a bold little one?" Sarah laughed nervously. The raccoon stopped, studied them for a moment, then turned and scampered to investigate a nearby box. Against her better judgment, curiosity overcame Sarah. They moved cautiously toward it, the figure now rummaging through the stack of forgotten items. Her heart began to race. What if this box held treasures or secrets tied to the family that had once lived in this house? Maybe even dangerous truths that needed to stay buried. "Look!" Lily pointed, excitement bubbling in her voice. "What if it's something special? Let us just be careful, sweetheart." As they got closer, the raccoon scampered off, revealing the open box filled with various old trinkets. Sarah reached in and pulled out a delicate silver locket, its surface tarnished but still gleaming, and Lily's eyes widened. "Mommy, can I hold it?" Just as she handed it over, the sound returned stronger this time, a clear, resonant voice echoing down the corridor. "Come find me." The world around them shifted, as if they decrossed into another realm of the uncanny. They exchanged fearful glances, the weight of the moment settling heavily. "Mommy, what does that mean?" Lily asked, her small shoulders tense. I don't know. But we need to find out." As they stepped back, the noise faded, but the presence lingered. Sarah's heart raced with a blend of fear and intrigue. "Are we ready for whatever this is?" Sarah asked softly, looking into Lily's innocent yet determined face. "Always, Mommy." But in that moment, with the strange voice still echoing in her ears and the locket dangling from her daughter's small hand, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that this was just the beginning. What were they being drawn into? Before she could voice her thoughts, the floorboards creaked yet again, this time beneath a heavy weight from above, as if answering the call. What more did the house want to reveal? Sarah took a deep breath, steadying herself as both curiosity and trepidation surged within. "Let us go," she said, making her way toward the door once more. There was no turning back now, they were in too deep, waiting for the house's secrets to unveil themselves. What truths awaited them just beyond the threshold? The moment they stepped through the door, it felt like they were crossing an invisible line. The air was thick with anticipation, every glance exchanged between Sarah and Lily charged with unspoken fears and unquenchable curiosity. do you hear that? Lily asked, her eyes darting around the now familiar room, holding the locket tightly as if it were a talisman. Sarah nodded, her heart racing as the voice whispered again, faint yet clear, "Come find me." It tugged at something deep inside her, stirring an urgency she couldn't quite place. "Let's check those boxes," Sarah suggested, her voice steadier than she felt. They moved carefully, illuminating the boxes with the dying beam of the flashlight. Dust swirled in the air, every rustle echoing in the quiet room. One box was heavy with years. Sarah knelt beside it, brushing off the dust to reveal the top. "What do you think is in here?" she asked, forcing down a wave of trepidation. "Something awesome!" Lily exclaimed, eyes dancing with excitement. With a deep breath, Sarah lifted the lid. Inside, they found old letters tied together with a fraying ribbon, yellow with age but still somehow beautiful. Sarah carefully pulled one out, her fingers trembling slightly. It felt like unearthing a secret, a message from the past. "Read it," Lily urged, bouncing on the balls of her feet. Okay, Sarah laughed, trying to ease the tension. She unfolded the letter, feeling its brittle paper crinkle beneath her fingers. Her heart skipped a beat as she began to read aloud, "Dearest Emma, today marks the anniversary of our greatest adventure." As the words flowed over her, Sarah finished the letter, realizing it spoke of love and loss, hinting at a story that had long been hidden. The writer, Emma, talked of a special place in the house, a hidden room that was filled with memories. Her pulse quickened at the thought. Was this what the voice wanted them to find? "Mommy, do you think Emma is a ghost? Or just someone who used to live here?" Lily asked, wide-eyed. "I think she was very much alive," Sarah murmured, her thoughts racing. "And she might still be here in spirit, guiding us toward her secrets." Determined, they delved deeper into the boxes, each item a treasure. A dusty doll, broken but still elegantly dressed, told a tale of childhood joy. A tarnished mirror reflected their concentrated faces back at them, revealing a ghostly presence in the polished surface. Each discovery deepened the mystery, teasing out more questions than answers. "Mommy, it feels like we're uncovering magic," Lily whispered, eyes twinkling with wonder. They stumbled upon an old diary, its cover cracked but still intact. Sarah flipped through its pages, her heart racing as she soaked in the words that danced before her. The diary spoke of friendship, heartbreak, and a hidden treasure locked away in the house, an heirloom said to bring joy to its rightful owner. "Can we find it?" Lily asked, nearly bouncing on her toes, a mixture of glee and determination shining in her eyes. "Yes. But we have to be brave, okay? Whatever it is, it might be hidden well," Sarah replied, feeling an adventurous thrill sink deep within her. But just as they began to formulate a plan, the ground shook beneath them, the low rumble intensifying into a tremor that rattled the very walls of the room. Dust cascaded like tiny meteor showers from the ceiling, and Sarah grabbed Lily, pulling her close. "Stay with me," she shouted over the din. "Mommy, I'm scared." Lily's voice trembled. "I know, baby. But we can't leave yet, we're so close." Before they could speak further, the door slammed shut behind them, sealing them off from the rest of the house. Panic gripped Sarah, but the urge to discover what was hidden only burned brighter. What mysteries would they now have to unveil? Stuck in a room that felt alive around them, the echoes of the voice returned stronger than ever, resonating through the walls. "Come find me." Taking a deep breath, they turned back to the boxes, now filled with a sense of urgency. "Let us find that treasure together," Sarah declared, determination flooding her veins. As they worked through the boxes, images began to seep into Sarah's mind, memories that felt familiar and warm. What awaited them? A key to understanding Emma's story, woven into their own lives, or perhaps something far more significant. All at once, she felt a flicker of hope, tempered by fear. It was time to face what the house wanted her to discover. "Are you ready for this?" she asked Lily, who nodded with fierce determination. "Always." They dove into the task at hand, hearts racing, as the sounds of the house came alive around them, What new revelations awaited as the hidden treasure beckoned them to unravel the threads of their intertwined fates? The air shimmered with tension, each moment feeling electric as Sarah and Lily scrambled through the boxes with renewed determination. The ground felt steady again, but unease remained, the voice echoing inside their minds. "Come find me," it pulsed with urgency, urging them on. "Look!" Lily squealed suddenly, pointing at a small, ornate box that had been almost hidden under a pile of letters. It was covered in intricate carvings, glints of gold peeking through the layers of grime. "Can we open it?" "Yes," Sarah replied, excitement flooding her. She carefully lifted the box, its weight substantial, and she could feel her heart quicken as they fumbled with the latch. It clicked open with a satisfying sound, revealing its contents. Inside, they found a delicate silver key resting on a bed of faded velvet. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. "What do you think this opens?" She wondered aloud, her fingers grazing the cool metal. "I don't know, but it's really pretty." Lily's eyes were wide with fascination as she reached for it, cradling it in her palm. "Maybe it's for a hidden door," Sarah suggested, glancing around the room, searching for anything that might match the key. With a sense of purpose, they abandoned the box and began their search, poking and prodding in the corners of the room. The walls seemed to close in around them, echoing their movements as if the house itself was alive. Each creak and vibration further fueled their sense of unease, reminding them of the voice that still whispered in their minds. "Over here!" Lily shouted, her voice breaking through the fog of their focus. She was standing in front of a faded tapestry that hung like a curtain against the wall. Its colors were muted, but intricate designs swirled across the fabric. "I think it might be hiding something." Sarah stepped forward, heart racing. Together, they tugged at the tapestry, peeling it away from the wall. Dust danced in the air, light spilling onto something hidden behind it. There, partially obscured by years of neglect, was a small door, just the right size for the key. "Do you think?" Lily looked up, breathless with wonder. "It has to be," Sarah replied, her voice no more than a whisper. Trembling with excitement, she inserted the silver key into the lock. It turned easily, and Sarah felt a rush of adrenaline as she pushed the door open, revealing darkness beyond. "Mommy!" Lily gasped, unsure yet thrilled. "What if it's scary?" "We'll do it together," Sarah promised, her voice steadying her own nerves. With a deep breath, they stepped inside the hidden space, the air heavy and cool against their skin. The room was small and dimly lit, but they could make out shapes lurking in the shadows. Boxes and old furniture cluttered the space, and in the corner, a flicker of light beckoned to them. "Look!" Sarah pointed, her heart pounding in her chest. There, on a low table, was an old lamp with glass etched in endless patterns. It was partially obscured but held a glow that seemed to pulse gently, inviting them closer. As they approached, the voices rose again, blending in a haunting melody. "Come find me, you're almost there, this is it, Lily," Sarah breathed, feeling a swell of hope. "This is how we find her. Whatever Emma left, we're right on the cusp of discovering it." Just then, the lamp flickered violently, casting wild shadows on the walls. The tremors they felt earlier returned, vibrating through their feet and into their bones. Sarah grabbed Lily's hand tight, both of them frozen in place, their wide eyes glued to the flickering light as it sputtered out, plunging them into darkness. The sudden silence felt suffocating. "What just happened?" Lily whispered, her tiny voice trembling. "I don't know," Sarah breathed, feeling the weight of the unknown heavy upon her. But something deep inside pushed her forward. They couldn't turn back now. "We have to press on," Sarah urged, determination rising within her. "Let us find out what Emma has to tell us." As they turned to the glowing light, a sense of foreboding wrapped around them. What revelation awaited in the darkness? Would uncovering Emma's secrets lead to the treasure they sought, or something much darker? With each step into the unknown, Sarah felt the irrevocable bond between her and the past titan. The whispers of the house guided them toward their destiny. Would they emerge unscathed? The journey had just begun. The darkness surrounded them, a thick cloak that muffled sound and light. Sarah squinted, her heart pounding like a drum. She could barely see Lily's face, just a sliver of moonlight peeking through the cracks, illuminating wide, anxious eyes. "Stay close," she whispered, clutching Lily's hand tighter. They inched forward, guided only by the faint memory of the lamp's glow. As they moved further into the cramped space, Sarah's breathing echoed in the solitude, a reminder of the urgency that pulsed through her veins. The air smelled stale, filled with dust and hidden secrets. Sarah could hear Lily's slight shivering, and it filled her with a protective instinct. "It's okay, we're okay," she reassured her. The words were meant more for herself than for Lily. Suddenly, the shadows shifted. A gust of cold air snaked around them, and Sarah froze. "Did you feel that?" Lily swallowed hard, shaking her head. "What if it's a ghost?" Her voice trembled, rising an octave in fear. "Maybe it's just the old house settling," Sarah offered, finding her own voice shaky as she stumbled over the words. Truth was, Sarah felt a chill that ran deeper than drafts. It was the lingering presence of something waiting, something watching. Then, without warning, a soft glow burst to life in the corner of the room. It flickered, steadying, illuminating the shapes that loomed around them. "Look!" Sarah exclaimed, and they both gasped. On a rickety table sat a collection of dusty books, their spines cracked and weathered. Some were leather-bound, others wrapped in rich linen, but all of them resembled something special, something once cherished. A big book in the middle had no title on its spine, but the glowing light surrounded it like a protective halo, almost calling to them. "Should we?" Lily whispered, staring wide-eyed at the strange book. "Let us see what's inside," Sarah replied, curiosity quickly overpowering her hesitations. Carefully, Sarah approached, reaching for the book. The moment her fingers brushed the cover, the air seemed to crackle and hum, sending an electric shock through her. She lifted it, and with it, a flood of memories rushed forth. Emma's laughter, the smell of freshly baked cookies, the tiny handprints on the windows. "Mommy?" Lily tugged at her sleeve, pulling on Sarah's attention. "What's wrong?" I don't know." The book felt alive in her hands, weighty with history and untold stories. She opened it slowly, pages appearing brittle yet full of promise. The first few pages were blank, but as she turned deeper, intricate sketches began to fill the space. Hand-drawn maps, notes, and symbols Sarah couldn't understand. One image caught her breath, a drawing of a tree, gnarled and ancient, standing alone in a clearing. Next to it, a date was scribbled in Emma's familiar handwriting, May 5, 2005. "What does it mean?" Lily peered over Sarah's shoulder. "I think it's a place. Maybe it's where Emma wanted us to go," Sarah said, excitement bubbling within her, mixed with anxiety. As they flipped through the pages, the whispers in the room grew louder, forming a rhythm in their hearts. "Come find me, you're almost there." But then the room trembled again. This time, it didn't feel like the gentle vibrations of the house. This felt like a warning. Shadows twisted and darkened at the edges, becoming more aggressive, encroaching upon them. Sarah's instincts kicked in. "Lily, we need to leave now," she shouted, her voice rising over the chaos that threatened to consume them. They turned, desperate to escape, but as they reached the door, the handle was gone, a void filled in its place. Sarah tried to push against it, panic rising. They were trapped. "Mommy!" Lily cried, fear lacing her voice. "We'll figure this out," Sarah reassured her, though uncertainty gripped her heart. In the flickering light, something caught Sarah's eye, a glint from the intricate carvings of the lamp that had gone dark. Whatever Emma had left them was still within reach, but it seemed they needed to face the darkness first. What if it's not just a key to a door? She thought aloud, recalling the silver key from the box. What if it's a key to secrets we weren't meant to unlock? As the shadows twisted, a new voice joined the whispers, this one filled with sorrow and urgency. Sarah felt it echoing in her bones, frozen at words she could barely comprehend. She gripped Lily's hand tighter, glancing at the book. "Tonight's no ordinary night," she murmured. They had to find the light within this darkness, or risk losing each other forever. Bolstered by a surge of courage, Sarah turned back to the glowing book. "Let us read it together." But what would their next discovery cost? The light from the book pulsed gently like a heartbeat, each thrum reverberating through the silent room. Sarah and Lily huddled closer, the glow illuminating their expressions, fear and wonder mixing in a delicate dance. The whispers grew more defined, shimmering threads of sound weaving around them. "Mommy, what are they saying?" Lily's voice trembled, drawing Sarah's focus. "I think they want us to listen," Sarah replied, her voice steadier than she felt. With a deep breath, she flipped the pages with a sense of urgency, desperate to uncover whatever secrets they held. The sketches were intricate, spiraling across the parchment like vines seeking sunlight. Maps led to places adorned with strange symbols, some familiar, others eerily foreign. The further they delved, the more the whispers intensified. "Seek the truth, it lies beneath, it's like a treasure map," Lily said, excitement glimmering in her wide eyes, though uncertainty still lingered on her brow. "Kind of," Sarah responded, hiding her own fear beneath a veil of confidence. They needed to focus. "These aren't just drawings. They could lead us to Mom. Or at least something she wanted us to find." A hollow thud interrupted them, shaking the floor. Shadows loomed closer, hungry and fractious. A surge of panic ignited. "We don't have time to hesitate. We need to remember what's important." She scanned the room, willing the darkness to retreat just long enough to reveal more. They came across a page with a detailed drawing of the gnarled tree Sarah had seen earlier. More notes were scribbled nearby. This time, Emma's handwriting was clearer. "The tree, we need to find the tree," Sarah said, her heart racing. "It must be outside, near the clearing." "Can we escape?" Lily asked, her voice small. "Our way out has to be here somewhere," Sarah said, channeling every ounce of determination she had. She felt suffocated with the overwhelming presence of the shadows, a pressure building in the air around them. She desperately looked around, spotting a flickering edge of light beyond one of the twisted shadows, just enough for hope. Summoning her courage, Sarah edged toward it, pulling Lily along. "Stay close," she urged as they moved. They could almost taste the air becoming lighter, the oppressive weight of darkness lifting just slightly with every step. As they approached the light, a sudden crack echoed, sharp and startling. The room jolted again, and a shadow shot forward, blocking their path. Fear pooled in Sarah's stomach. "We have to find a way to break through." She clenched the book tightly, its warmth coursing through her fingers. "The key," she whispered. "It has to be the key." Lily frowned, confused. "What key?" "The silver key. The one I found in the box. It could open this room, whatever is trying to stop us." Just as she spoke, the whispers crescendoed into a roar. "Find the key, unlock the truth." They surged around Sarah like a chaotic wind. I have it." Sarah dug into her pocket, her heart slamming against her chest as she felt the cool metal against her fingertips. But the shadows morphed violently, coiling around them, claws of darkness stretching toward the book. Their breath caught as the chanting grew more fervent, a blend of urgency and desperation. "Mommy!" Lily cried out, slipping her hand from Sarah's grasp. "We can't let them take it." Before Sarah could react, Lily darted forward, reaching for the book engulfed in strange light. "We need to bring her home." Time seemed to shatter around them. Light crackled, shadows shrieked, and for a moment, Sarah felt an overwhelming surge of warmth. But the shadows clawed closer, threatening to pull them apart. "No!" Sarah shouted, rushing forward. She had to protect Lily, protect what light they had. Just as her fingers brushed against her daughter's shoulder, the world around them dimmed, plunging them back into darkness. The last thing she saw was the silver key glowing in Lily's hand, shimmering like hope against a fierce storm. Then, nothing. Was this the end or merely the beginning of something new? What waited for them beyond this darkness? Light flickered back into existence, warm and golden like a sunrise breaking through a dark night. Sarah tried to blink away the shadows clouding her vision, heart racing, mind swirling with confusion and dread. The comforting smell of the old house surrounded them, but the tension in the air felt heavier than before. "Lily?" she whispered, fear clawing at her throat. "Mommy?" Lily's voice was soft, a buoy in the storm. Sarah turned, her heart catching at the sight of her daughter standing just a few feet away, clutching the silver key, her expression both frightened and fierce. "I'm here, sweet pea," Sarah said, relief flooding her. "What happened?" I don't know." Lily's lip quivered, but she squared her little shoulders as she stepped closer. The key glowed, and then everything went dark. "Let's just take a breath," Sarah said, gathering herself. In that moment, the house felt alive again, the whispers now soft and almost soothing as if inviting them to find solace amidst the turmoil. Glancing around, they were in the same hidden room, but it felt different. The oppressive shadows had receded, washing away the sense of dread. Sunlight streamed in through the small window, illuminating the outlines of boxes that had once seemed threatening. "Look!" Lily pointed beside them, excitement taking over the remnants of fear. There, nestled in the corner, was a shimmering outline, a door. "Is that?" Sarah slowly approached, awestruck. "I think it is." With cautious hope, they stepped toward the door, the silver key shining in Lily's hand like a promise. "Should we try it?" Lily asked, her voice a whisper. "Absolutely," Sarah replied, feeling the weight of her determination return. She knelt beside her daughter, their eyes locking in a moment of shared resolve. "Together, okay?" "Together." Lily cheered, her childlike optimism lighting the air around them. Sarah inserted the key into the lock, heart racing as it clicked and turned with a satisfying sound. As the door swung open, a soft breeze rushed past them, carrying the scent of lilacs and freedom. Fingers intertwined, they entered. The view before them took their breath away. They stood in a sun-drenched clearing, surrounded by tall trees swaying gently in the wind. Nature wrapped around them, bright and vibrant, the colors of spring alive with promise. In the center of the clearing stood a gnarled tree, much like the one from the drawings, its roots sprawling, as if holding secrets beneath their surface. "Wow!" Lily exclaimed, running to the tree, her laughter breaking the lingering heaviness. "It's beautiful. Do you think Emma played here?" "I think she does want us to find her story," Sarah replied with a smile, heart swelling. They approached the tree as if sharing an unspoken connection. Beneath its sturdy trunk, the earth felt different, alive with energy. "Let us see if there's anything buried here," Sarah suggested. She knelt and began to dig. The soil was cool and rich, the sun warming her back, revealing the healing power of this moment. Lily helped, her tiny hands working alongside Sarah's. Soon, they uncovered something, a wooden box, carved with intricate designs, like a treasure chest popping from a fairy tale. With trembling fingers, Sarah lifted the lid. Inside, she found letters tied with twine, along with photographs, the faces worn but smiling, radiating love and warmth. "These are Emma's." Sarah cried, her heart racing as she recognized the woman her mother had often spoken of but they had never really known. "Mommy, what do they say?" Lily asked, peering over the edge. As Sarah read through the letters, emotions flooded her: joy, sorrow, hope. Emma had written of dreams, struggles, and unbreakable family bonds. And at the end of each letter, a promise: you will always find your way back to each other, through love. Tears filled Sarah's eyes, and she looked down at Lily, a radiant smile breaking through her emotion. This is what we were meant to discover. Not just the treasure, but who we are meant to be together. Under the shelter of the ancient tree, they embraced, feeling the warmth radiate around them, no longer just trapped in the past, but stepping into a future filled with understanding, hope, and love. As they pulled away, Sarah noticed a small, shimmering object beside the box, a delicate locket, just like the one she had earlier. She picked it up, her pulse quickening. Opening it revealed the same wedding photograph she had found before, but now she saw something more, a family intertwined, generations wrapped in the legacy they had been tied to. "Mommy, we can keep finding things," Lily said, hopping with joy. "Can we plant stuff under the tree?" Yes, we can." Sarah's heart soared as she imagined filling this space with laughter and love. Here they would grow and thrive, mold their new life, and, guided by Emma's words, create their own legacy. They stood beneath the gnarled branches, ready to explore all the secrets waiting to unfold. This was only the beginning. "And just you wait, sweet pea," Sarah said, gazing at the sprawling forest before them. "This house, this journey, it's going to be amazing." As the sun dipped low, bathing the clearing in a golden light, they stood hand in hand, filled with hope, determination, and a renewed bond that would shine brightly in the years ahead. Now, let us reignite the magic. You need to subscribe now. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this transformation. Comment below your reactions and feelings about the ending. Let us spread the journey together.